Hi everybody, it's Sachin Mishram here, and today we will learn about broken candy with liquid inside animation in Cinema 4D. But before that, be sure to check out my YouTube channel, so I'm gonna post it up on there. I'm not gonna bore you guys. So let's start. So I will make a sphere like this. Change display to quick shading line. Radius around 100, segments 32, and convert it to polygon by pressing C on keyboard. Now I am going to make a candy shape. Now let's select the faces. What you do is you press U on your keyboard followed by an letter L for loop selection. Shift select the faces. Now extrude the selected faces by pressing D on keyboard. Move outward. Adjust it downward also. Now shift select the edges of the extruded part and bevel it. Right click and select bevel. Adjust the subdivision like this. Next, after selecting the sphere, we will use what we call Voronoi fracture here. Move the sphere inside the Voronoi. Select Voronoi fracture. Scroll down here to select point generator. Change point amount to around 40. Distribution type normal. Now let's create a cube for separation part. Select live selection and reduce scale to be fit around our candy sphere here. Now select the Voronoi fracture and drag the cube here below in sources. Change the creation method to volume. Point amount to around 340. Next, add effector. Select Voronoi fracture. Go to Move Graph, Effector, and add Plane Effector. In parameters, we move the plane effector along the x-axis like this. 150, y-axis 0. Then go to fall off. Select linear fill to add it. Select the fill tab and move the right one near to the center like this towards the cube. Make its length to be 0.001. In remapping, change the inner offset to 100%. Now duplicate the plane effector by Ctrl plus click. Select Voronoi fracture. Select Effectors tab below in it. Drag the duplicated plane 1 effector in it. Next, select the linear fill in plane 1. In remapping, change strength to invert. Now select the plane 1 effector and change the parameter x value to -150. This will divide the strength of both the effectors like this. Hide the cube by clicking here the dots. Make it red. Now we are going to make the liquid inside the candy. Go to front view. Here select the spline pen from the toolbar here. Draw a spline like this. Make several splines. Next, add cloner and move all splines in it. All will be spread. Don't worry. Make mode to radial. Radius to 0. And change the plane axis to ZY. And there you go. All return to the center. Make lots of copies by changing the count. Let's say 11. Try radius maybe leave it to 0. Just make sure they all are around the center. Now select cloner here and add volume builder. Add volume measure on top of it. Select the builder and adjust voxel size to 5 cm. Select cloner and change radius to around 8.5. Change the count in cloner object to around 16. Next, we will convert this cloner to polygon by pressing C on keyboard and merge it by converting it into spline. To do, right click on it and select Convert to Connect Objects option. If you want, you can add more spline to make it thicker. Some by changing the radius individually. Change SDF Smooth to SDF Dilate and Erode. Adjust offset to 1.5. You can play with it to get desired result. I will try a little more detail one more time, but I will use the sketch mode to draw something like this in the front view. Move the new spline inside the volume builder. Also, in objects property, move the spline below SDF. If you use the volume in this way, you can make these shapes quite easily. We will be able to get an appropriate shape. Now, we are going to make the hole in the liquid shape. For that, let's create a capsule. Change orientation to -x. Adjust its scale to make a hole like this. You put in the volume builder like this. If you make it a very ugly looking like here. First, to make it invisible, put it inside the volume filter like this. And also below the SDF smoother. Change the mode to subtract. But it makes a cut in the shape. Now let's go over this part a little bit faster. Now using the capsules and other shapes as looks like this, let's make holes like this once. Change everything to the subtract mode. Change them to an appropriate size. After modeling with a number of polygons, press C or right click, select Connect Objects to change it into a single shape. Once this is done, let's animate the shape. First select both planes, go to Effector Go to strength, add a key on 8th frame. Then move to 0 frame and change strength value to 0 and add a key. Now create a null and move the liquid mesh inside it. Animate the scale X value of the liquid. Add a key at frame 8 with scale 1. Add a key at frame 0 with scale 0. Let's make more keys to make animation look real. Add a key to both strength and scale just before the last key using dope shit here. Move the last keys to 24 frame and the newly added keys to frame 4. Yeah, now it looks more natural. Now let's add more details to the liquid. Duplicate the liquid by Ctrl plus click. Rename it to liquid 2 and the original one as liquid 1. Hide the original one. Go to mesh and in brushes tool select grab and change the size and proportions of a hole like this. Once thinking about when it is stretched like this. Let's change the shapes little by little like this. Move the liquid 2 inside the null. Now after doing this, we will mix liquid 1 and 2. How to do it? There's a thing called pose morph in rigging tag. So add the pose morph tag to the original liquid mesh. After that, select the pose tag, check on the points and drag the liquid to mesh into the poses section. A pop-up will appear. Select yes. Of the render view of the liquid 2. Check the animation using strength value here. Great. This looks good. So you can do a lot of different things with this. Add keys at 4 and 24th frame for the stretch. Let's add some more exaggeration using F-curve. I think it would be nice if you could touch it so that it doesn't feel like it's being pushed when it's not being used. And at the end, I have to do it again until the part that shrinks like this again. I did it by copying 0 frame keys by control dragging it to the 28th frame. So the pose morph become like this. Now the candy part is done. Next, create the handle of the candy. For that, let's create a cylinder first. Check if the cap's fillet is checked or not. Now create a null. Move all the Voronoi fracture stuff in it. Also the liquid mesh now. Add camera for better positioning of the model. Make it a square setting. Done. Rotate null to -41 degree at frame 24. Then go to frame 4. Rotate H to -15 degree. And rotate B to -12 degree. At frame 20, rotate H to -26 degree and rotate B to -0.8 degree. Now Move to frame 24 and change rotate H to minus 481 degree and rotate B to 0. Also copy all the 0 frame animation in dope sheet to frame 28. So many keys. Don't worry, but always add a good rotation to our candy. Let's animate the handle now. Select cylinder. Add a key on frame 0 to all the position and rotation axis. Let's make it more dramatic. At frame 4, bring the cylinder more towards camera. Like this. At frame 24, adjust a little rotation. Yeah. On last frame, give good full rotation to give a twist to the animation. Okay, this is also done. Now move everything inside a new null. Next, let's give us little space before starting the animation. So let's move the cylinder and the candy keys animation to start from frame 10. We can use dope sheet to move the keys. It's easy using dope sheet. Now let's give an anticipation to the candy. What I mean is, when the handle roll back into the candy again, it gives a shaky movement to it. So select the null at frame 40. The rotation B here 0 degree. Key it. After 3 frames, rotate it to 4 degree. Next, 3 frames later, make it minus 3 degree. Again, after say 5 frames, bring it to 1 degree. And last, after more 5 frames, make it 0. Cool? This looks great. One more thing. Let's start with a little anticipation also. So at frame 0, key it first. Then a frame later, make it 3 degree. One more frame later, a minus 2 degree. And back to 0 at frame 3. Great. This looks good, isn't it? Next, let's start with the texture. What we are gonna be doing today is making this nice candy gel-like texture. So I will just make a new texture and we are gonna apply it. Also in render, on interactive render to see it. So what we are gonna do is, first I'm gonna make a nice little greenish kind of texture. So I'm gonna get a nice green hue. But basically what you can do more to add more color vibrance in here is use funnel now. And instead of using black and white, we can use different shades of like our green. So we can have little like this light green or lime green and get more of like a darker green color. So we got lime green to dark forest green, and it just gives a nice little shade. It's a little bit more interesting than just green. We can flip this if you like, because that makes more sense if it's darker around the edges. So I will do that. I'm gonna copy this, go into the luminance and paste it. So we give it just a little bit of luminance, and there we go. And then the major thing is gonna be this transparency, right? So transparency is gonna be where we get this nice gel kind of thing going on. And right now we can't see a whole lot because it's a 100% transparency. So what we can do is bring this down a little bit, brightness around 60% and mix strength to 30%, and even change these to a different kind of colors. We can get a little bit of green in here and just kind of play around with this stuff. Gel candy are much distorted color because there's so much gel distortion that you as you are looking through, as lights passing through, there's so much distortion. So keeping that in mind, usually you want to use like a higher refraction value. Let's just kind of play around here, and let's say like something like 1.96. And then what I'm going to do here as well is get a gradient in here, and just like we did to kind of make it a little bit more interesting with different shades and stuff, I'm gonna copy this for now and paste it into this texture. I'm also gonna hit edit you, and this really gonna brighten everything up. I'm also gonna go and change this mix mode of the funnel with the color to add, and we can bring this down, or let's see with the one last thing. You can see that we not we cannot we can't see through this too well, so actually turn it back on to that, bring the brightness up a little bit. One major thing, another that's going to really help with the transparency is the absorption color. So basically this distance is how much of the color is gonna be absorbed through this thing. If I turn off the additive, you can really get a sense of what's going on here. You can see that the color is going to be primarily the thing that you are going to be seeing is it's absorbing all that kind of color, that show of color into this object, and put add back on to it and bring down the brightness here, because you can see that we are now seeing through this a lot better. You can start to see some really nice distortion, some nice hues, a nice color happening. You can play around with the color absorption. So these two things, the refraction, the absorption color, you are gonna be the two things that really drive how well your candy texture is gonna look. And you can barely see through it because of that absorption distance. So shallow, it's almost like a thick wall. So you know that's how gel is. It's like a thick surface that you can't really see well through very well. So now we can move on to the reflectance and start playing around with the stuff in here. We have the default specular. Let's keep it like that. Let's make a little more specular, maybe make a sharp. Specular want some really nice shiny sharp specularity going on. Maybe give like this specular color like a little yellow hue, and of course we need some reflection to make everything really nice and shiny. And you can notice that, and that just totally blocks everything out. The reason for that is we need to change this attenuation to average. We can actually add on the reflection, the specular down to 20%, maybe give it a little bit of roughness to blur the reflection there. And let's paste the color funnel texture here. So the last thing we can do here is go into the diffusion, and using some noise to bring that kind of organic bumpiness, those organic imperfections, by bringing some waves in here. Here's choosing any kind of noise, and again if you click on this, I'm gonna use sparse convolution, and this is just going to be very subtle accent. So you can see our global scale on our noise is very huge right now. So I'm just gonna do something like 0.2 and wait for that to update. You know, You want to make it a little bit more imperfect. And speaking of making a little bit imperfect, more organic is we are gonna add some bump in here, and we are gonna enable it. And just like we added some noise for the effects in the diffusion, we're gonna get some big noise instead of small noise. It's some really big noise in here, so maybe like 100. And you can see now everything's kind of slowing down here. Now let's go in here to render this out. Go up here. So we go up here on the settings. We choose here physical. We go into physical and we change for now the sampler to progress. And the other thing we have to do is choose effects and add the global illumination. And here we go up here and choose to quasi Monte Carlo, and here another quasi Monte Carlo, and we are ready to go. Good. So this is now set. The other thing we'll straight away add is the HDRI maps. So we have an environment that creates our light. So we go here, create new material, standard material, double click, and we are in our settings. We ignore this color for now and the reflection as well. So we go up here and go on content browser and we search here for HDR. And if you download cinema with the content libraries, you get a lot of HDR maps and different materials. And in there is this large corridor which I quite like because it gives a nice diffuse lighting. So you just drag now this large corridor into this texture and you have it on your material. Good. So we go to objects, also make a plane for background and add a texture to it, add an image to it. You see, but now we have basically a light source. So if you click now render, we have already have fairly nice general lighting. So the source is coming from the back and we have nice reflections here. This render you can see physical renders very beautiful. It's a very capable render, but it can be very slow if you don't know how to optimize it well. And in this case, this looks pretty good, and for a still it's not going that slow. It's going to end up being around 3-4 minutes. Maybe let's see how long this takes. Okay, but man, if we're going to do an animation, we are going to do be almost a minute of frame. What if we could cut that in half and make it look almost exactly the same? Well, that's what this technique does. Let me show you exactly how this works. Now traditionally when you texture and use materials, we are gonna to use the color channel as the diffuse layer, and then you are going to add all your reflection on top of it in the reflectance layer, and that's exactly what we have here. Now here's the secret. The physical render seems to not enjoy the color channel, right? So let me just show you the real practical. I'm just going to turn off the color channel and I'm going to re-render it, right? The same exact scene but without the color channel. And now of course we don't have a diffuse layer, we don't see the candle, we don't see the gel, but look at the render time. Okay, so much less instead of what was this before. So what if you can get this speed but with this look? Well, that's exactly what this technique does. What this technique does is it uses the color channel in the reflectance channel so that we could turn off the color channel altogether, and this is how you do it. If you already have materials in your color channel, just come here to your texture where your materials are and you can copy shader and then we can come into the reflectance layer and add a new reflectance layer. Now check this out. There are diffuse models built into reflectance, all the reflections that are identical to the color channel, and say add Lamberson. Now next thing we have to do is drag it down to the bottom of the stack. Yeah, because you always want your diffuse there at the bottom. And then where do we paste this? Remember we copied it before. We're going to come down to texture and we're going to paste it right here, shader. Bam. So now your diffuse layer is in your reflection channel instead of the color channel. Let's do the same with the liquid shader and this stick handle also. In this case it's just a color, so we can just right click on the color, copy this teal color that we had, come into reflectance, add another Lamberson, drag it to the bottom, and now in this case we just go to the layer color, right? We just go to the layer color, right click, paste OK. Now here's where it gets crazy. If we turn off our global illumination, it's completely off and we hit render. You're going to see an almost identical render to that first pass in less than half the time. So let's wait for the final number here, and then we are, and I'm seeing is a little bit more bleed on the color of the liquid. It's a little brighter here, so you may have to compensate for a couple little things here and there. But if you simply build your materials using reflectance instead of the color channel, you could save yourself over half the time in rendering. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, be sure to post them in the comment section. And if you make your own gel material, be sure to share. I would love to see what you guys come with. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye guys.